Hi, I'm Claire and this is my husband Nick. We met in an online chat room in 2001 and ended up getting married in 2006. We're a fairly normal, hard-working couple. We love travelling and enjoying a drink or two. In early 2020, we decided we wanted a whole new life-changing challenge. So we said goodbye to our jobs. We sold our Wiltshire farmhouse. We packed up our things and made the move to France. In early 2001, I went back to the UK to finalise our house sale and pick up my Aga. I was on Facebook on an Escape to the Chateau fan club page when I saw this advert. I messaged Nick the advert. Curiosity got the better of him and he went and arranged a viewing. With the instructions from me, I trust your judgment. If you think I'll like it, put in an offer. The offer was accepted and we finally got the keys on the 10th of June 2021. Join us and our dogs, Merlot and Flora, as we renovate our Maison de Maitre.
Hi, and welcome to our Halloween special. We're halfway through a haircut.
Yeah.
You might be able to tell that it's not my desired design. And the clippers have just stopped working. There's absolutely nothing happening, whether they're plugged in or not. No light. I don't know how to turn it off and turn it on again because it's just off.
You kind of look like an angry golf ball.
Help.
Do you think I should go out and maybe get some new clippers?
Yes.
or shall I take you?
Today? Oh yeah. Why did I ever go to a professional hair salon ever in my life?
Oi, we're saving money.
Evidently, this has done about 5 haircuts and it's packed up.
Look at me again. Look. You look lovely.
Well, it's not me that has to look at me at least, is it? So.
Okay, I'll go out. So today I started decorating some of the outside of the house and it's now night time and I was just in bed doing a little bit of editing and Nick said, oh, come out and look at your giant spider on the side of the house. So I'm just about to. So we've got a couple of street lights here. They go off about 11 o'clock at night. Merlot's outside. And Nick's just about to turn on the light that I said, oh, we should shine that up on the house where the spider should go. Oh, cool. Wow. The spider and the baby spiders. Brilliant. Ha 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 ha.
I've decorated our house too.
I'm sure that one flying from the tree looks like your sister.
That's not kind.
We're on our way to a location which we found during one of the lockdowns over here, and Claire found it originally by looking on Google Earth. She was having a look around to see what there was of interest and found this building, which she has since found on an Urbexing site. For those who don't know what Urbexing means, it's urban exploring, so going to have a look at old forgotten buildings and having an explore. So off we go. Well, there's an entrance that hasn't been used for a while.
come for a walk around. Now there's another house that we're going to afterwards. This one is on an Urbexing site and it's the first time that we've been here.
Look at the size of that. Absolutely enormous. Compared to the size of the house. And the other enormous item here, building, is this. Which possibly was an old barn. Let's have a look up there. Well, it's all farming kind of stuff, isn't it? So absolutely enormous. Actually, the house is quite modest in comparison.
This is the back of this house or chateau, and it is absolutely stunning.
And there's an open door.
It's an open door, so you know.
What wrong are we doing? Nothing.
Wow, it's a sink.
Most enormous fireplace.
Range, tiles.
I wonder when that oven was last used. Obviously taking the old radiators out.
It's really cold in here.
Of course it is. well, if that's what the heating system is.
Yeah, good point.
Let's have a look through here. Oh wow. Look at this. Stone staircase going up.
You can see the old heating system.
Goodness me. Looks like it went down with the Titanic. Look at it.
Wow, what a great under-counter fridge.
Yeah, great. Look at here. The floor feels a bit soft, so if we go falling through it, look at that. Wow. I think this is what you have read about.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Oh wow.
I don't know if it's as painted stone or if it's actual marble. Probably just painted, but look at it. And you know, in our house, the decorations near the cellar,
Oh yeah.
doesn't that remind you of it? Well, they painted it on. Now, I'm not being funny, but I don't know that I trust the staircase with my weight. Don't know if we can get the camera just to have a little look up. What beautiful old cabinets.
There's loads of papers on the floor. Like old textbooks and things. Mathematics.
Say a year.
1985,
Okay,
I think.
could be. Might have been used as a school back then. You never know. through. Funky wallpaper. And a delightful looking toilet. Here's a really good reason why you wouldn't want to be going up those stairs. I wonder what's up there. Off she goes. No stopping her.
Oh my god. Oh, there's a bath. I haven't had a bath for months.
If you hadn't heard. Okay, wait Flora. I'm at the other end of this lead. Wait. Oh, that's colourful. This is all tiled in here, so I think this is an old bathroom. Lovely tiles. Kind of lily design. Oh, there's another bath. Let's have a look here.
Still got an hour bath.
Now. Lovely little bird lights above the door. Absolutely enchanting staircase balustrades, if you can call them that. Nice swirly design. There's baths everywhere in here. No newspapers behind their doors. Or are there? Come floor. Absolutely fantastic staircase. It would have been 100 years ago. But my guess is tiles slipped on the roof, it became unoccupied, water came in, water has damaged everything. Oh, another bath. Another toilet. Oh, guess what? What do we have here? Another bath. Oh, my life. Could you imagine? Ah, the ensuite with the double basins. This must be the luxury ensuite. How charming. Floor of the Explorer, floor of the Explorer. Where should we go? Up here. Much lower ceilings up here, which, oh, God, oh, what do you know? Another bath. There were some very clean people here, weren't there? Or maybe very dirty, and that's why they needed so many baths. Oh my life, another bath. I hope you're keeping count. And hot water tank. Because there's loads of them as well. I mean, what went on here? Bet there's a toilet in there.
Yeah. And I've still got the rubbish bin.
That's nice. Don't trust the floor here or there. And just looking along there, not a whole lot of trust going along on there. So there you have it. We made it out, didn't we?
Yeah. I've kind of gone up a step into this barn room, and this is obviously where all of the furniture from this chateau has been stored. The ceiling obviously has a leak in it. Look at all of the old beds and bed frames and panels and drawers. I've come through into what is, I think, one of the barns. And the first thing I'm going to look at is that the roof isn't going to collapse on me. But this room is just massive. And it's really, really cool. And the floor's dirt. And there's a set of steps up there. God knows what this was. The floor's solid, so that's cool. It's almost like a stage. And this is the room from the other side.
Can't seem to gain access to this enormous barn, but there's a crack in the door here. Just take a look in there. The size of those columns. It's like a temple in Egypt.
I've just stopped the car and I've whacked her into four-wheel drive. I found this house when I was looking for the chateau and the monastery that we've just been to. So we found this house and we came to visit it before Christmas, and we had a good walk around. We took some pictures, but we didn't do any videos because we didn't know that we'd be doing anything with YouTube. So we've got a couple of pictures which we'll show you now. The last time I was here, the roof was on this beautiful building, and we actually went inside and we had a look around, and there's a bit of a horror story here. So the house was owned by Mr. Renew and his wife Yvonne. Mr. Renew was a school teacher, and one of his former pupils, Emion, had held a grudge against him for many years. Since October 1977, Emion was wrongly accused of throwing a piece of chewing gum at Mr. Renew. Anyway, it turns out that it wasn't Emian who threw this piece of gum. It was another one of his classmates called Musa. But Emian, unfortunately, was humiliated by Mr. Renew and was made to stand with his face against the wall and his hands against the back of his head in front of all of his classmates. And it obviously humiliated him quite a lot. He'd obviously bore this grudge for years and years. And he'd suffered quite a lot of mental torture because of it. It sounds so silly, all over a piece of chewing gum. So one day, years later, Emil took an axe to the house, and Yvonne was outside in the garden looking after her tomatoes. Emil walked up to her and struck her with the axe, killed her and dragged her body off into one of the barns. He was really quite brutal, I think, from what I've read, with his murder of Yvonne, the school teacher's wife. So after he dragged off her body and hid it in the barn, he then went after Mr. Renew. He then threw a stone at Mr. Renew, who was sat in the house reading a book. Imagine that. You've got no idea that your wife's just been brutally murdered. You're sat there in the afternoon sunshine, reading a book, enjoying life, and all of a sudden a stone gets thrown at you through the window. Once the stone had come through the window at Mr. Renew, he'd seen it was Emil, and he got up and he tried to ring the police. And then he realised that Emil had cut the telephone line. So eventually, Emil dragged Mr. Renew outside and into a pit he'd dug in the garden. He then half filled it in and covered Mr. Renew up, but then spent the next few days brutally torturing him, basically stoning him to death. Eventually he died of hunger and thirst and his other injuries. Emil then, after he'd killed Yvonne and Mr. Renew, decided that the best thing for him to do was obviously to commit suicide. So Emil then committed suicide by eating and swallowing large pieces of gum until he choked to death. Well, that's how the story goes. I don't know whether this story is true. When you go there, it feels just like a really nice, warm, welcoming house. Last time we were here, we were actually stood upstairs, which doesn't exist anymore. And you could have had this still at the point where you could have made it into quite a nice house, apart from it's near a wood tip. And at one point we were actually quite curious to find out who owned it, to maybe even try and buy it ourselves. But it was a huge project. Now it's just really a knackered shell, unfortunately. There's lots of outbuildings here, but again, all of the roofs have collapsed. I think a lot of them were farming and storage buildings. I don't think I'd even go in them now. I've climbed up the front steps, and this is what was the hall. Up here you can see that there's still a hot water tank attached to the wall. The whole of the roof's caved in. So we'd taken a picture of the house rules, and the house rules were over here on this wall. You can actually see the word house over there still. And underneath here, somewhere, is this absolutely stunning flooring. But it's probably all cracked now. It's such a shame when people set fire to buildings like this. One thing that has survived is this little barn at the end of the house that hasn't been touched, with a huge cart and some pipes and a fireplace.
This is where Claire thinks she's a tractor, or rather the car is a tractor.
It is a tractor.
Well, why don't you drive on the tracks rather than half on the field?
Well, the tracks, I don't want to take the bottom of the car out, so if I drive on the field part...
Oh, the farmer's going to love you for that.
Well, he's been driving on it with the tractor. Jeez.
Yeah, but he's just ploughed it, now you're putting tyre tracks in it.
I know.
Oh my life! It needs Alton Towers.
I know. Right, I'm going to put her back into two-wheel drive.
Because we're back at the tarmac road.
Yay.
I'm so glad they invented this.
None of this is signposted, is it?
No.
And you would never know that this was here. Mello, Flora, Mello, Flora, you a skeleton. Flora, you a pumpkin.
We each have a pumpkin and we're going to carve it, and you need to judge whose is the best. Okay.
You can use it as a hat. What's that?
It would be much better if we did that as a melon and we could eat it.
You can eat pumpkin.
No, but nobody does.
Nobody does.
Not really.
No, we had pumpkin soup last week.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but what? Yeah, I don't know
you had
about
to cook it. If you
Yeah.
had melon, you could just eat it.
Before we left England a year ago, I picked these up from the pound shop. Watch your fingers. And I've been waiting to use them ever since.
Well, I think we have a clear winner. I didn't use props.
They're
This
good.
is pure carving. Artistic excellence.
I've got pumpkin in my eye. Right, we'll show you them with the lights off and you decide in the comments below who's the winner. I've now been out and bought a set of new hair clippers. It's now a couple of hours later. And who do you think that you look like?
Ian Duncan Smith.
Do you want me to cut your hair? That's all for this week. A very happy Halloween to everyone. Stay safe and we'll see you next week.